Why it's so important to heal before, you know, outing a predator, quote unquote, or telling your story. This is, I don't put trigger warnings. I don't say that. I just kind of go, but like, this is going to be heavy. So if you don't want, if you're not, like, this is, I'm going to go into some heavy stuff. And this video is, like all my videos. I think of something and I just talk. I have nothing written down. This video especially I want to be a dialogue because I just try and be as genuine as possible about topics that I care about and want to, you know, shed light on or interested in. So anyway, having said that, if you disagree with any of this, this is not written in stone. This is merely to help people that are struggling or whatever. So here we go. We're gonna talk about some heavy stuff with, predatory people, grooming, conditioning, essentially the toxic, almost goes above. When you talk about toxic, you think about chaotic, whatever, but like pretty much like as toxic as it gets when when you actually talking about people that are uh, more malevolent and are, they, so again, um, why it's so important to heal first, right? Okay, so if you are in a position and are picking up the pieces and doing the work and are trying to figure out what happens, there's all those different stages, right? There's anger, and that's usually, that's, look what this person did to me, like, and honestly, this video, hopefully it's both male and female. I think that's the reason I'm making this video is because now I think more than ever there's men that are conditioned, preyed upon, and this is how predatory behavior works. This is the kind of the point of this video is where there are gaps in society. That's where those people go. That's why people in positions of power. I personally, doctors, surgeons, teachers, war, prison guards. You got to be careful. Like there's people out there, and having said that, now inevitably, with certain narratives, and it's not in mainstream media. It's I don't see a whole lot of it even on YouTube, but men that are preyed upon, and you see it like even I've seen it. Uh, Not a lot of deterrence against predatory women at the highest level. I'm old enough now where I see guys dropping. I see guys that are doing this, and you know, it's the way it's always been. But I think it's even worse now, where like the reaction is like very. It's there's no light shined on the woman if it's a relationship and a guy does that. It's all the sympathy goes to her. I don't. It's complicated, but it's like, um, it's not a lot of not a lot of sympathy for the guy or the guy's family. Like, what did someone else do wrong? Like, even in the grave, it's like, he was weak. So it's both ways with guys. Even if, yeah. So, and I'm just being honest. I'm going a little bit on a tangent here. But so why is it so important to heal? And this is what I'll say. Like, from a moral standpoint, why you have to heal before outing someone's dirty laundry or saying what happened to you, or, and again, this is not an all thing, um but I would say in most situations, I don't want to keep qualifying what I say. If you heal, if you don't heal before going, let's say whatever, a guy slaps you, whatever it is, a domestic thing, and the relationship ends, and theoretically, just like, like we do when things end and it's bad and it hurts, right? That's why it's ending. But to whatever party puts, out dirty laundry and all that stuff, it really delays. First of all, it's very subconscious, but if you think about it, you're almost saying that I'm okay with who I am and I will keep repeating this, as opposed to healing. And then if you decide to tell a story, it'll be done more in an anonymous, in a way that it will spread healing, i.e., there's no need for any animosity towards anyone else, because if you've done the work, and that's what's so powerful, is like, if you've done the work, you don't need to justify. You don't need to come from a position of anger and revenge, because if you think about it, moralistic, like at a moral standpoint, by hurting someone else, like even if they are in like a making someone else's life harder, like, are you doing that for them? Are you really doing that for other people? Like, to not let them hurt someone else? It's like, I would argue, and it's something, again, maybe it's controversial, whatever. I mean, but I've been thinking about it, and I've been on this road for a while now, and it's very complicated, but I think that's a lot of what's happening with the gender wars. Is for every 10 people that have an abusive relationship and then just destroy, let's say, at least, whatever, I'm going to be biased and say guys doing it, or girls doing it towards guys and destroying a guy, there's one woman that doesn't say anything, looks inward and sees what they are putting out in the world, like what is attracting that, because it's like a tractor beam. If you haven't healed and you don't, to just keep attracting someone who's bad, like, quote unquote, and it's like, at what point are you just creating pain for everyone? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe this is like common sense. I don't know. I just was watching a video about grooming, and I was just thinking about, this woman was so transparent, about, she came from a perspective of that, of like what tells she has, and being an open book. And I find it so interesting. What made me think about it is like, she's talking about how being an open book was like, she was, raised to be like, that's good. Like, you're on a date and you just, what is assumed is you basically just hand them over your book with everything that's ever happened to you, everything you are, just taking your heart out and just giving them your heart. And she's like, she's acknowledging that that's not, that was her normal, and why that can be not great for those people out there that are targeting certain individuals. And when she was talking about this, she acknowledged that she's giving away tells, and what was my point? Is that, and it just made me think, because like, if she didn't do that work and it wasn't painful enough, she probably would just keep doing that and just being like, that person is bad. Oh, and I guess that's my point, is the moral idea. What does that look like for society if we can blame one party? And I don't know. I don't know. I just, yeah, I don't know. I think it kind of, isn't that become predatory at the end of the day? If like, isn't that's what's so tricky now? It's so tricky when it comes to like abusive people now in 2025 is like, talking about it, saying what happened to you from a position of like it's their fault and like whatever party. And it's like, and it's so easy now with social media, cancel culture. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had more to say about this stuff, but yeah, this is just more of a dialogue about that. Um, I was just thinking about the notion, like, why is somebody who's an open book? Here's like another proof in the pudding. That's what I keep coming up with when, like, because abusive behavior, abusive people, things that are innately bad are never told. Envy, uh, predatory behavior, grooming, condition. No one's gonna be like, I condition people. I mean, you got basically, I'm a whatever. I can't say certain words. Whatever I do that, and they're hypocrites at the end of the day. It's like uh, so the proof is in the pudding, and this is my point. It's like that. I come up with this proof in the pudding thing a lot because it's like it basically is as close as you're going to get to a smoking gun with certain people, like i.e. a narcissist that you want closure with, right? And like them freaking out about you giving them a narcissistic injury, whatever it is, them freaking and being rageful towards you. That's as close as you're going to get to a apology. You were just that the proof is in the pudding. So like, there's your validation. Um, the same thing is why is someone who's an open book, why is it so hard for that person who's an open book to talk about the truth about what happened to them? You're so open and everything's out there. You're open minded, even if you're not weak, you know uh and you're courageous, like but then why is it the one thing you don't want to talk about is the bad stuff that happened to you? There's your validation. There's the proof is in the pudding. That's how you know that it's not your fault, and at least that's the groundwork. But again, that's the proof in the pudding kind of thing. It's like, but yeah, it's interesting. Why is it that we're not? See, that's the thing. As I'm talking about it, it's so crazy. That's part of clown world, upside down world too, is that the people that are actually abused seldom talk about it because they know. Well, one, because the pain is so great that they probably never will ever talk about it. It's so bad that they they could not afford for someone to not believe them or to act coldly towards them or to say anything other than thank you for telling your story or thank you for what you did help me, or even a neutral just nothing, or I guess that's worse, but a neutral, more of a neutral just, yeah, thank you for telling your story. Like anything besides that is like un to the degree that I would argue, to the degree that person was like traumatized or abused or whatever it was, like it's so bad that it's like and affect them to like their core. It's like to talk about it is to like, it's just not an option. Um And then I guess that's where I'm getting. I'm blaming the victim. I don't know. I don't know what the point of this video was. Maybe it'll help. So basically, the dialogue, I wanted to have around is it like, do you agree with that? Like, do you heal first and then tell your story later? Like, I don't. I I was thinking about that when she was talking about all this different stuff, and it just made me think about specifically that. Like, is it like immoral to like out somebody for like, abuse? That makes me go down a huge rabbit hole talking about shame and even like shame and like certain like Christianity. Like I think about certain people in my family. There's just shame everywhere, and just like what part of that is linked to religion, and is that good and is that bad? And because like to some degree, it's like, I mean, nothing's all, but a, like here's a here's a like a thought experiment. What's better or worse? And there's no answer to this, but like it's like what's better, a family that outs each other's dirty laundry, has a trauma in their family that is not again, it is not, the shit runs deep, and but that family out stuff, talks about their problems, talks about, they blame each other, they tell people what someone they did this bad to me, this and that, and that trauma's out there. They're open about it. They're being real, and they're saying what went wrong, but that family is completely destroyed. Or a family that has abuse. Let's say a father hits their kids, and it's just like, it's like very physically abusive family, but that family is one and no divorce, and those kids are, you could argue, traumatized or have a lot of shame and a lot of self-esteem issues, whatever, but their family is together. And again, there's no right answer to that question. Like and there's no, life is not black and white. I get that, but like, it makes you think about like abuse and morality. And I think like religion plays a part in that, and that's where a lot of things go crazy too. And the conflation of people in certain religions doing bad things and throwing the baby out with the bathwater, i.e., like Christianity being a big one. Which I did for a long time. But I don't know. This is it's a heavier one, but like I just want to talk about it. Because again, I mean, relationships are just like driving a car. You're just, for being in your car, you're 10% at fault if you're driving it. It's ironic, I always use that example, and I was just in a car accident where I was not driving, I was parked. So maybe I'll be 5% at fault. I don't know. Did I get half? Did I get to cut the 10% in half for not actually driving the vehicle but just being in it? I was in the vehicle. I guess that's the equivalent of you being laying on the couch and someone just punching you in the face when you're sleeping. Hey, you're in the house, you're in the relationship still, so that person, you weren't walking around. That's not funny, and that actually doesn't make any sense. Anyway, do I have anything else to talk about as far as this? I don't think so. Let me know what you guys think below about abusive, predatory, bad people. No, there's no such thing as bad people, I don't think. I don't know. But maybe there is. I don't know. Empathy is where it comes from. Empathy is the name of the game. Can't do much. You can't do much but destruction without that freaking empathy. But yeah, let me if anyone, this video made much sense. I don't know. I kind of just went through like a zoned out thing. I thought I had a lot more to say, but I just kind of, then I go off on a tangent. Anyway, let me know what you guys think below, if like what your opinion is on, I guess, the relation to like timing, trauma, morality, victim land. And your experience to the degree that you're willing to share it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you taking the time. Have a great day.